best friends, tell you a spooky story.
Ooh.
At least this time. This is the last week of October.
Oh my gosh, this has been a long October. This is our 5th spooky episode.
Yes.
And tomorrow is Halloween.
And I forgot to introduce myself again. So I am Emileigh, and this is Morgan. And Morgan, what are you doing for Halloween?
Not sure yet. I may be doing something, or I may be coming to see you, Emileigh. Jury's
I know which
still
one
out.
I want.
Same.
For selfish reasons. We're going to the block party. Last minute, my daughter... Well, it wasn't last minute. My daughter's going to be Rumi from K-Pop Demon Hunters. If you haven't seen the movie, go check it out.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
It's so good. I made her sword. Her outfit finally came in. It's a little wonky. It's fine. I'm going to fix it. But, so she's going to be Rumi. My son's going to be a Minecraft person. Nick is TBD. Don't know yet. But I last minute decided I'm going to be a fan of Rumi, like of Huntrix. So I got like a Huntrix t-shirt. This is such a cop-out costume, but it works really well. I'm just going to be a fan. I'm just going to dress cute with a Huntrix t-shirt and be like, go Rumi!
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. It's, and I get to be comfortable. Just gonna wear a pair of jeans or whatever.
Yes. You don't have to.
What I really wanted to be was, you know, the guy in the movie who keeps ripping away his shirts? I wanted to get multiple shirts and have them, like, tear away. But that was too complicated for this time frame, so maybe another time. Do we have any updates?
I don't think so.
I mean, my floors are still ongoing. I'm currently, I do want to say, I'm currently in my closet again on the jankiest setup I think we've ever had. If you hear extra clanking and banging and stuff, and I couldn't get it out, I'm sorry. I'm doing my best.
But she's laying floors down. That's where she's at. They're going. I saw them in a video. There's flooring on the floor.
There's flooring in one room of the floor. Did it take me 12 hours for a job that I thought was going to take me 6 max? Yeah, it did. But the chaos is ongoing, and I at least have most of the living room furniture out of my bedroom. And that was the biggest thing. I feel like I can function in the house again. So this is fine. Everything's fine. Stop panicking, Morgan. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into this very special and awesome Halloween episode.
Spooky. Can't wait.
It's 1897 in a courthouse in Greenbrier County, West Virginia. The mother of a dead woman is being asked some rather interesting questions from the defendant's attorney.
Mrs. Heaster, are you positively sure there were not 4 dreams?
Yes, sir. They were not dreams. I do not dream when I am wide awake, to be sure, and I know I saw her right there before me.
Are you not considerably superstitious?
No, sir, I am not. I was never that way before, and I am not now.
Do you believe in the scripture?
Yes, sir. I have no reason not to believe in them.
And do you believe the scripture contains the words of God and His Son?
Yes, sir, I do. Don't you believe it?
Now, I would like, if I could, to get you to say these were 4 dreams and not visions or appearances of your daughter in flesh and blood.
If I'm going to say that, I am going to lie.
Then you insist your daughter actually appeared in flesh and blood before you on 4 different occasions.
Yes, sir.
Did she not have any other conversation with you other than the matter of her death?
Yes, sir. Some other little things. Some things I've forgotten. Just a few words. I just wanted the particulars about her death, and I got them.
When she came, Did you touch her?
Yes, sir. I got up on my elbows and reached out a little further, as I wanted to see if people came in their coffins. I leaned up and made a light. I wanted to see if there was a coffin, but there was not. She was just like she was when she left this world. It was just after I had gone to bed. I wanted her to come and talk to me, and she did. This was before the inquest, and I told my neighbors. They said she was exactly as I told them she was.
Had you ever seen the premises where your daughter lived before these visits?
No, sir, I had not, but I found them exactly as she told me they were, and never laid eyes on after her death. She told me all of this before I knew anything about the building at all.
How long was it after you had those interviews with your daughter until you did see the buildings?
It must have been a month or more after the examination.
You said your daughter told you that down by the fence.
This was an actual word-for-word questioning that occurred in a courthouse in the summer of 1897. This event would go down in history as the only time a ghost has ever helped convict someone of murder.
We're right up my alley.
Oh, I know. I knew you were going to love this one because it's like it has a little bit of both of us. It's a ghost story. It's a murder. It's got it all.
Yes.
Okay. So, what are we talking about? My goodness. We're talking about the Greenbrier ghost. If y'all do not know what that is, like I just said, it is the only known case which the testimony from a ghost helped convict her own murderer.
That's amazing.
What a story. What a wild ride. Also, the names in this story are going to be some of the best you've ever heard in your life. Almost better. I would almost say better than Biscuit Ferris. I mean, that's hard to beat. That is so hard to beat.
That is very hard to beat.
There's something about these Appalachian names that are just, God, they hit different. Old Appalachian names are the best. So, who exactly are we talking about today? We are talking about a lovely, beautiful young lady named Zona Heaster. Zona's a badass name.
I love Zona.
So, Zona, oh my God. So she was born in 1876 to Mary and Jacob Heaster. She was one of 7 kids and was the only surviving daughter. So I believe they had another daughter that passed at around 3 years old. And then the other siblings were all boys. And I believed all of them lived into older age, which is honestly incredible. Good for them. And then the MMC, the main male character we're talking about today, his name is Erasmus Shue. I think technically his name was Erasmus Shue, Shue. He went by Trout and occasionally Edward.
Okay. Apparently Erasmus was too hard. Trout or Shoe? Or Trout or Edward?
Stribling. What a middle name. Stribling.
That whole name is something.
Erasmus Shue. Incredible. Most people called him Trout. I will be referring to him as either Mr. Shue or Trout.
Okay. So,
because why not?
Because that was his name. Don't wear it out.
I know. So, he was born in 1862. So, he is a good 14 years older than Miss Zona.
Okay.
And he was born in Mount Salone, Virginia. Parents Jacob and Elizabeth Shue. And he had come to Greenbrier a short time before meeting Zona to work for James Crookshanks, another great name, at his blacksmith shop. So he came into town to be a blacksmith. At this point, it was like 1896 when he popped into town. 1895, 1896, somewhere in there. He was pretty much a stranger to the area. Nobody knew that he was kind of a sketchy fella. He was known as like a large man, as in tall, hulking, very good looking. You can see on the pictures, he is a very good looking guy.
Yeah.
And, I mean, a hottie in a blacksmith shop, irresistible. I've said it before. I would... Anyway, let's just say I'd be swayed by this man. Because I'm swayed by criminals, apparently.
You are. You got a thing for them.
Listen, this guy had already served 2 years in a state pen for stealing a horse. He's up my alley. So, unfortunately, he also had been unhappily married twice before this. So he was married to Alice Esteline Cutlip, and they married in 1885. Together they would have one daughter, Gertrude. Alice, she accused him of abuse, and then he abandoned her and Gertrude. This is the happiest story of everyone.
Oh, no.
The best thing that man could have done for Alice and Gertrude is leave.
Oh, that's so sad.
They both lived, I will say, because we're going to get worried, okay? They lived a long lives. Okay. I did actually look up. I was like, what happened to her? She married again, had a lot more children. Gertrude died at an old age. Okay. All good there.
Okay.
So, first wife, bye. Second wife, they only lived together for about 8 months. And poor Lucy Ann Tritt, there was a horrible accident where Edward, who he was going by Edward at the time, because why not, was working, so hard, working on his house to provide, and just happened to drop a brick right on her head.
Oh my God.
Suspicious.
Yes, very. Oh.
So she died.
Oh God.
From a brick dropping on her head, suspiciously. Did anyone know this? Because it was the 1800s when, like, he moved into town? Of course not. Of course they didn't. You can't just, like, Google records back then.
Right.
Yeah. And by all accounts, he was very, like, he wooed her. Lots of wooing. Now, I will say, because Mama knows best, Mary Heaster met Edward. Treadward. I don't know what to call you right now.
Strabismus, whatever his name is.
Yes, Stribling POS. She did not like him. Mama didn't like him at all. So after a pretty brief courtship, sorry, my watch just told me I met a goal sitting here. So I don't.
Did you sit the fuck down for longer than 5 minutes?
Yes. So it said you reached your move goal, bitch. It calls me bitch.
You're just fidgeting like in your seat. It's like you did a good job meeting your goal.
You worked out. I'm so proud of you. Anyway, so they had a very short courtship. And one of the sources said they actually eloped, which wouldn't surprise me because if Mama doesn't like him, the chances of like a marriage being, agreed upon, because the parents did have a lot of say back in the day, it was probably very slim. So it wouldn't surprise me if they just like eloped. So That's what I'll say happened. Him and Zona eloped to the Old Methodist Church in Livesay's. I hope I'm saying that right. I looked it up yesterday. Livesay's Mill.
Okay.
And this is all still kind of happening in Greenbrier County, but where like the wedding happened and where they took up residence, it was on the Livesay's like settlement in this like a 2-story frame like house. I do have a picture of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of big for the time, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
They took up residence there. It is on like the other side of the mountain as her mother and them. So it's not an easy journey getting from one side of the other. It's not like they just moved down the road. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
So this was in October of 1896. Very fitting for this time of month. I don't know exactly what day, but October of 1896.
So she's 20.
20, yes. Yes.
And he's 36?
20, yeah. Yes, about 35, 36, somewhere in there.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. She is quite pretty, though.
She's beautiful. And also, he does not look as old as he is per this picture. Like, he looks like he's in his mid-20s. Mm-hmm. He does not look like he's almost fucking 40.
Mm-mm. And you can tell that, like, he's a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
Just sitting down, he's like 4 or 5 inches taller than her.
Yeah.
Very good looking guy. Too bad he sucks. Anyway, I'm giving it away. So, and in the first couple months of January, so they've been living together for a couple months at this point, Zona falls ill and is sick for a couple weeks. And that's concerning in, the mountains, small
1800s.
community. So 1800s, lack of, medicine or any really good healthcare at all. So she is under the care of Dr. J.M. Knapp, Knapp, Knapp. And he would come by, make sure she was fine. She did recover. And Trout seemed to be very attentive to his wife, making sure she had everything she needed, making sure that she was fine and comfortable and on the mend. So to the outside perspective, the outside eye, he's taking very good care of her and actually loves this woman.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So on the morning of January 22nd, 1897, Trout leaves his house to go to the blacksmith shop, but shows up at a neighbor's house who goes by Aunt Martha Jones, or just Martha Jones. She has a son, Anderson Jones, and Trout asks Anderson if he could go back to his house, to Trout's house, to attend some chores, see if Zona needed anything from the store, things of that nature. This was probably not uncommon during this time. Neighbors help neighbors. And Anderson, being around 11 years old at the time, was more than capable. But Anderson, in his later years in life, like way later years in life, was interviewed about this incident. And I've got some really cool quotes from him about his perspective of what happened that day. So, quote, "I can remember it well. It was a Saturday. Mammy told Mr. Shue I had to go to Dr. Knapp's first and finish some work there. He seemed to resent this, but asked if I would go later in the day." So his mom was like, he's already got stuff he's got to do, but he can do that later for her if you need him to.
Yeah.
So, quote, "4 times he came back to the house for me. Why can't you just go back to your own house and check on your wife? Each time I was busy. Around 1 p.m., so this is all before noon. He went back to the house 4 times before 1 o'clock.
That's crazy.
He came again, and I agreed to run his errand. Going to the house, I felt something was wrong. All the doors were closed, and there was an air about the place I did not like. Reaching the steps, I saw a trail of blood. This scared me, but I went to the door and knocked. No one answered. I tried it, finding the door unlocked, walked into the kitchen. The trail of blood continued across the floor to the dining room. This door, too, was closed. I'm not exactly sure where the blood came from. But, like, bodies are leaky, right? So, I don't know. Once more, I knocked, and getting no answer, walked in. I stumbled over Miss Shue's body. There she was, stretched out over the floor, looking right up at me through wide eyes. She seemed to be laughing. Probably just the way her face was, but he was 11, guys, finding this. I was frightened, but still able to reach down and shake her. She was stiff and cold, so obviously been there a while. Running from the house, I called across the field to Aunt Martha, Miss Shue is dead. So he runs across the field to his mother and goes, Miss Shue is dead. As she ran to the house, so Aunt Martha goes to the house, I went down the road for Mr. Shue, finding him at the blacksmith shop with Charles Tapscott. When I told him what I found, he yelled, and with Mr. Tapscott started for the house. I continued to get Dr. Knapp. So Trout and another man run to the house while poor Anderson now runs to the doctor. When we reached the house, Shue had taken his wife from the floor, placed her on the bed, and held her head in his arms, crying for her to come back. But strangest of all, although no one thought of it at the time, he had dressed Mrs. Shue, placing one of those old-fashioned high stiff collars around her neck and holding it in place with some kind of scarf. So he redressed the body and put something very sturdy on her neck.
Covering her throat.
Yeah. So then, by the time Dr. Knapp got there, Mrs. Shue, obviously, she's gone. And Trout's there holding her redressed body. And not once did Trout let go of her head. He held it close to his chest, cried in anguish, and prayed that the spark of life might resurrect her. Okay, drama. Mm-hmm. So, you can tell I don't like this guy.
Yeah.
So, later, the Greenbrier Independent reported that after, obviously, Dr. Knapp was trying, but he was unable to resuscitate Zona, that Trout requested the doctor to, quote, to make no further examination of the body. So just stop looking.
She died mysteriously, and we will never find the answers.
So we shouldn't even look, because it's... Yep. Also, it was observed, which is wild to me that no one caught on, that the head was witnessed by a number of people. That the head was very loose upon the neck and would drop from side to side when not supported.
I hate that.
Yeah. The doctor finally said, "It is an everlasting faint. Her heart has failed."
He just was
everlasting faint.
Looked at Zona and was like, "Yep, she's dead."
Yeah. She looked upon this poor woman and was like, "Yeah. DRT."
Yeah.
As my dad would say, dead right there. Sorry, I pulled that one out. Zona was buried. No charges made. Nothing. They were just what an unfortunate circumstance.
She just died. No cause. She just died.
And to the doctor's defense, he's not able to actually, take a look at this body.
Right.
It's the 1800s, so he's like, doing the best I can here. And he had been previously, within the same month, taking care of her for being ill.
Yeah.
So he's doing the best he can. Don't hate the doctor yet, okay?
Okay.
That's all I gotta say. Don't hate him. So Trout continued to act weird because now we have to go through this entire burial process. And he continued to act weird because she was taken back to her parents' house over the mountain. He never once left the head. Very weird to just be like hovering over your dead wife's head, right?
Yeah.
Even while she was in the coffin, in the presence of mourning relatives or visiting neighbors or anyone who came to pay their last respects to this lovely woman, he never left the head. Never. Also, he folded a sheet on one side and also had like another like shirt or other kind of like garment or piece of fabric, folded them up to hold her head in the upright position.
So sus. So suspicious.
And everyone was like, this is fine. Y'all, go with your gut, okay?
People do weird things when they mourn.
Yes.
You know, including trying to keep their wife's head from flopping around, apparently.
That's normal. That's totally normal, right? So, she is buried in the family plot. Trout goes back home, across the mountain, and now Zona's poor family are left grieving.
Yeah.
Well, Zona's mother is praying because she knows something's up. She never liked this fella to begin with.
Right.
And Zona's mother is praying to God and is like, every night she's like, please, pretty much just like, send me my daughter to tell me exactly what happened. Like, I know I'm not getting her back, but like, if she could come and tell me what happened, because no one's going to know but her.
Right.
That would be swell. That would be awesome. Right?
Yes.
So one night she said she had gone to bed and that her daughter had appeared to her. Her daughter would come back in 4 separate dreams. So I'm saying dreams. She was not asleep.
Right.
And in each one, it's kind of like, it's a weird, it's like more real than real kind of a feeling. Anyway, so she looked across the room, sees her daughter just standing there. She had just been praying.
Mm-hmm.
She was dressed in the dress that she died in. Remember, she was changed. Her clothes had been changed.
Yeah.
And this first visit, Zona was about to speak, and her mother reached out, but then she disappeared. I guess she looked kind of like, I don't know if I want to lay this on you, right?
Mm-hmm.
The next night, Miss Heaster was praying again, and her daughter came back and did actually explain some of her death. Okay. She would come back 2 more times and speak more freely every time until the entire story was out as to how she died. We will get into exactly what happened in a second. Okay. So now she's had these 4 visits from her deceased daughter, and she's like, it is the late 1800s. What do I do with this?
Right.
I mean, it was very lucky timing that we are, like we talked about in the beginning of the month, kind of in that seance period where we were
spiritualism.
In the peak. So,
yeah.
But we are still in the Appalachian Mountains, guys. We got to remember
yes.
the mentality. I'm sure someone was like, that's the devil, of course. I'm not saying that didn't happen, but I am saying that when she first started talking to people, people were like, you're just grieving too hard.
Yeah.
You've lost your mind.
Yeah. Which,
and no one was taking her too seriously.
I do kind of get that. Like,
yeah.
You know, most people have not experienced like anything like this before. And even though the spiritualistic movement is in full swing, you know, grief does do crazy things to you. And probably, like, you are so lost in your grief, you think you're seeing your daughter again.
Yeah.
Like, I understand people's reactions.
I do too. And it's like, oh, you just think you're seeing her and you're just getting comfort from speaking to your daughter one more time. And she's like, no, she told me things I shouldn't know. Like, please believe me.
Yeah.
I shouldn't know what color her dress was on the day she died. Like,
right.
Remember, over the mountain.
Over the mountain. Did not see her until after she had died.
Had never even seen her house. She's like, I know things about this house that I shouldn't know. I've never seen it before. Anyway, several days later, Johnson Heaster, who is Mary's brother-in-law. So Zona would have been his niece.
Okay.
Heard the story and was like, you know what? I really think there is some foundation to this. I think that this is like a thing. So he himself, because no one's going to listen to a woman in the late 1800s. I hate to say it, but they're just not going to. So he himself took himself over the mountain and was like, hey, Trout, I got a couple questions for you, my dude. And after talking with Trout, he was like, oh, this guy is suspicious. Mm-hmm. So he took himself over to poor Anderson's house. Leave Anderson out of this.
Oh, bless his heart.
And also others who had seen her on the day and around the time. And he was convinced there was some foul play going on. Because, I mean, the truth does come out eventually. And you can tell. It's like these... When the stories aren't... When the math ain't mathin'.
Right.
You know?
And when the husband acts so weird...
Yes.
Again, like, grief does make you do weird things. It makes you behave in ways that are very strange to other people. But also, his behavior is very strange.
if he had just been, by the coffin at all times, not uncommon. That's a normal grief thing. I want to spend the last moments that I can with this person.
Right.
So I'm always around. You kind of hyperfixated on a specific area, dude. Like, why the head and the neck?
And then, like, covering her throat and, like, protecting it so no one else can see it, and then refusing for an autopsy to be completed. And
what was his excuse when someone asked? Like, I'm so curious. Like, why are you propping her head up, like, right now? Like, I want to know what he said.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's so her pretty head, everyone can see it, or I don't know.
Probably something
weird.
Like that.
Yeah. So, Mr. Heaster, and Mary Heaster both traveled to Lewisburg, West Virginia, and they actually met up with the prosecuting attorney, John A. Preston, one of the most brilliant lawyers of his day. And they were like, I'm going to need you to help me. And he had actually, because this was the talk of not only the town, probably the state, because Mary's not being quiet about it. It's not every day a ghost says, I was murdered by my husband.
Yeah.
So word travels fast. And Preston had already heard the story and was like, I don't know, I have some reservations about it. Obviously, being of a logical mind, you would have reservations about it. Fine. But he heard her out anyway, and I can applaud the man for that. And by the time that she was done explaining, and by the time that Johnson was done telling his account of going and talking to these people, he was like, oh shit, I think we have something here. I mean, truly, I think we do. So, after they talked for several hours, he was like, give me names. Give me names. Give me information. I will start looking. So, they brought in big guns, right? So, Preston goes to, just a nobody in the story. Dr. Knapp.
Yeah.
He goes straight for the doctor. And this is when he learned that the full examination of this body could not be done at the time. and that he tried to do it, but the husband wouldn't let him. And the doctor was like, listen, my verdict of heart failure could be wrong, because it could be wrong. I don't know.
He couldn't do an autopsy, so he doesn't know.
Well, what do you want me to do? She had been ailing, but then everything else was like weird.
Yeah.
So, don't know. But a very important thing that happened during this meeting is that both men agreed that an autopsy would either prove Mrs. Heaster's story true or put her mind at ease.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, what's the worst that'll happen? You figure out that she did die of natural causes and then you can just rest easy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Either way, you
And
get
also,
answers.
if she did die of natural causes, it at least gets, like, people to stop looking at trout like that.
Right.
You know? What's the worst?
Yeah.
Even though they absolutely should look at trout like that. So, I titled this next one, Let's Go, Bitch.
Yay!
The next day, he wasted no time. Preston and Dr. Knapp knocked on Mr. Knock, knock, knock. Hello, Trout. Get in the car. Or buggy. Get in the buggy.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go with us to go dig up your wife. And they took Aunt Martha and Anderson along. Again, leave Anderson out of this.
Leave Anderson out of this. Poor boy.
Oh my God. So Trout was like, I'm not going, right? I don't want to go. But then was convinced otherwise and was like, fine, I'll go. And throughout the journey back across the mountain, apparently he kept muttering to himself, I don't know what in the name of God they're taking her up for. They're not going to find anything. What he's trying
shit
to do,
in a
deter
brick.
them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to manifest it. Like, if he says it to himself enough, it'll be true, because they're not going to find anything. They can't find anything.
They can't find anything. Her neck has magically not been loosened. Anyway, it like reconnected. So they got to the grave, and Preston, I guess being a lawyer, was like, well, I'm not digging her up, so I need a bunch of neighbors to come dig her up. And nobody was going to do it because that was absolutely unheard of at the time.
Right. You don't exhume bodies in the 1800s.
He had to threaten arrest. He was like, if y'all don't start fucking digging up this body, I will arrest you all. Like, I will go get the freaking sheriff, and we're going to get this coffin up, whether you like it or not. Jeez. So, if you think about it, there must have been so much conviction in Mary's story and in Johnson's story and in Dr. Knapp's story for them to do something like this. Because this was not heard of at all. You did not. This is probably the first time they've ever been like, I'm sorry, we have to get her back out of the ground.
Yeah. I mean, you're disturbing her rest, you know?
Yes. But is she resting?
No. Clearly not.
Clearly not. So, Shue, freaking Trout, was made to sit in the room while Dr. Knapp performed his autopsy. Why? I'm not quite sure. And so was Anderson for some reason.
No, stop it.
Leave him alone.
He needs to go home.
This was all just like a freaking plan from Trout just to have someone else find the body. Why did it have to be an 11-year-old boy? Come on. Anyway, he obviously looked for poisoning first. Couldn't find any evidence of poisoning. And then he just started looking over for like physical things. 3 days. Y'all, I know medicine is not that great back then. But it took him 3 days to find a floppy head. Okay?
Did he start from the bottom and work his way up?
I don't know. Like, it could be her big toe. What about the pinky toe?
I mean, that's how Jack Daniels died. You never know.
You know what? I take back my statement. That is right. That is how Jack Daniels died. His freaking toe killed him. So, apparently during this time, Trout was just like sitting in the corner, maintaining his innocence, but he would sit on a very large packing box and he like was whittling with his knife, just whittling. And on the third day, when they found the floppy head, according to Anderson, Dr. Knapp was working around Mrs. Shue's head. I could see Shue was getting more nervous. His whittling was not so good.
He's starting to get some shaky hands going on.
Yeah, like he's not. So, quote, suddenly the doctor turned to Mr. Preston. They whispered together for a few minutes. Then Mr. Preston turned to Shue and said, well, Shue, we have found your wife's neck to be broken. Shue's head dropped. A change came over him that I can't explain, but it certainly proved his guilt to me.
Wow.
So that's from Anderson. So her neck was found broken and her windpipe crushed.
Oh, God.
Evidence of, murder by strangulation. Apparently, it was broken so well, like perfectly, that's why it took a couple days to find. And I'm sure, I mean, at this point, how long has she been dead? Like a couple weeks? So,
yeah.
I'm going to give him a little bit of, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, decomp has set in and all that.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyway, this part, what is happening? Apparently, obviously, he got arrested. Duh.
Yeah.
Under Sheriff Nickel was the sheriff that arrested him. And they started their trip back to Trout's house for some reason. And Trout seemed to be in pretty good spirits. And actually, when they got back to his house, he cooked everyone breakfast.
1800s were wild, y'all.
What in the fuck is happening? And then after he made breakfast, he announced that he was ready to go to jail. It's like, all right, got my last meal in.
Jeez.
So, in Lewisburg, he was charged with the murder of his wife, poor Zona, and then placed in the county jail and waited until June before the county circuit court could, hear the case.
Mm-hmm.
And Zona was put back in the ground for the last time.
Good.
She's still there. So, Preston and his assistant, Henry Gilmer, spent several months getting more information against Trout, obviously, because he was afraid that the testimony from Mary would not be enough. So he needed some physical evidence to back up what Mary was saying.
Something a little concrete.
Obviously. So Trout got Dr. William Rucker and James P.D. Gardner to defend him. Now, fun little fact, Gardner was the first black attorney to practice in that county court.
Nice.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Shout out to him. So, fast forward June 30th of 1897. Remember, guys, this is happening so quickly. They were only married for like 3 months before she died.
Yeah.
Insane. So, in this courtroom that is still used today was filled to the brim.
Oh, I can
of course
imagine.
It would be.
It's a murder trial.
And everyone knew about the ghost. So they were like, oh, I gotta see this.
Yeah.
So, in Preston's opening statement, he told the jury that the state's case against Shue was entirely circumstantial, but that the evidence that he had never been presented in this court before. And that he stressed that the dream, they kept calling it the dream testimony, would prove beyond a shadow of a doubt to be authentic, and that he could prove it with the other evidence he had. So, very powerful statement there. But, you know, we got to get through it.
Okay.
So, Dr. Knapp was the first witness called. He told of, obviously, not being able to do the full examination, of conducting the post-mortem examination, and finding that her death was from a broken neck. And that he was like, I didn't even find it for 3 days. It was so well done.
Mm-hmm.
And he also pointed out that a break such as this would be physically impossible to do by suicide. And
like from hanging, or
right, correct. Like it wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and
so,
you would see marks from whatever
rope.
You used,
and also finding the body. Anderson would have found her hanging had she done that.
Right.
Not on the floor.
Yes.
So then poor Anderson has to testify and had to say, like, hey, yeah, he was being really weird that day and wanted me specifically to go to the house to see if his wife needed anything. So on purpose made me go find this body. And then other witnesses stated that Trout was the only person there that day. Like, it's a tight-knit community. Everyone kind of knew everyone's business. So Trout was the only one that had seen her that morning.
Mm-hmm.
And that other people were like, it was really weird that he changed her clothes and put the thing around her neck and, like, tied a big old bow under her chin. How it would drop from side to side. And others said that Trout, after her death, because remember, he just went back home after she was buried.
Yeah.
Quote, failed to show the proper appreciation of loss he had sustained. So he wasn't even acting like his wife just died.
Well, and what's very interesting, kind of not really related, but this past weekend I went to this thing about like spiritualism and seances and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they talked about Victorian mourning culture and like customs at the time, like even in the US. And if your spouse died, at least I think for men, you had to be like in mourning for like 6 to 12 months and show you were in mourning. Like there's very specific rules to show that you were experiencing
like the wearing
grief.
the black. Yeah.
Wearing black. At least women like didn't leave the house. I don't know exactly how it went for men, but I would assume that like he wouldn't go to work for a certain amount of time. There probably would have been some other customs that he should have followed. And if he didn't, people are like, whoa, this guy's not grieving his wife.
Yeah. That's probably what was going on here. Because they were like, you were acting so weird.
And he's also just a weird fucking dude, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you acted weird throughout this whole entire process.
Yeah.
So, one person actually testified that when Trout was, like, summoned to go dig up his wife, that Trout said that he would come back under arrest, but they would know they could not prove him guilty of murder.
Uh-huh. He just offered. I'll go with you if you arrest me, but you won't find me guilty of murder. Uh-huh.
He's like, I knew you would arrest me, but like, you're not gonna convict me. Like, there's no evidence.
Way to put the cart before the horse, my guy. They wanted more information. They weren't accusing you of murder yet.
Not yet. Yeah, you kind of told on yourself there.
Yeah.
So, obviously, this was not the testimony that everyone was really itching for, right? But then it came. Mrs. Heaster, she said, quote, "It was no dream. She came back and told me that he was mad that she didn't have no meat cooked for supper. But the second night she told me that her neck was squeezed off at the first joint, and it was just as she told me."
Oh.
Now, we got to remember, this is a gamble.
Yeah.
To, like, actually use these in court. This was so unprecedented that the Greenbrier Independent in Lewisburg printed the entire question and answer testimony, which is where we got part of, like, the skit from. That was the second part of this, but I left the big beefy bit for us to recite.
Okay.
Now, they printed it word for word in the paper, which was not a thing back then. So, this was wild. So, Morgan, please remember, this part happened before the skit part. I kind of did them backwards. But anyway, so we're getting a second skit
part
for the first time. Okay. So you are again, guys, this is the defendant's attorney asking Mary, Zona's mother, questions. Have at it.
Mrs. Heaster, did you not have a dream that aroused your suspicions to lead you to have the body exhumed?
I had no dream, for I was fully awake, as I am this moment.
And did you not have a dream or vision that led you to have the body disinterred?
Well, I was not satisfied that my daughter came to her death from natural causes, so I prayed that it might be revealed to me how she died. After that, an hour spent in prayer, I turned over and there stood my daughter. I put my hand out to feel the coffin, but it was not there. She seemed to hesitate to speak to me, then departed. The next night, after I prayed again, the manner of her death might be shown, she appeared and talked more freely, giving me to understand that I should be acquainted with the whole matter. The third night, she appeared again and disclosed more to me. And on the fourth night, she returned and told me about the difficulty, how it occurred, and how it was brought about. She had told her mother, quote, "He came that night from the shop and seemed angry. I told him supper was ready, and he began to chide me because I had prepared no meat. I replied there was plenty, bread and butter, applesauce, preserves, and other things that might make a good supper. He flew into a rage, got up, and came towards me. When I raised up, he squeezed each side of my head with his hands, and by a sudden wrench, dislocated my neck." Then Mrs. Heaster said, "Then my daughter went on to describe the home where she lived and the surroundings in the neighborhood so that it was fixed in my mind as a reality. When I later described it for people living near there, they told me they could not have been more accurate themselves. And she told me I could look back of Aunt Martha Jones in the meadow on a rocky place, that I could look in the cellar behind a loose plank and see. Her house was a square log house, hewn right up to the square, and she said for me to look at the right-hand side of the door as you go in, and in the right-hand corner. I saw the place exactly as she told me, and I saw blood there as she told me."
Now, Mrs. Heaster, this sad affair was particularly impressed upon your mind, and there was not a moment during your waking hours that you did not dwell upon it?
"No, sir, and there is not yet either."
"And this was not a dream founded upon your distressed condition of mind?"
"No, sir, it was not a dream. I was wide awake as I ever was."
"Then, if not a dream or dreams, what do you call it?"
"I prayed to the Lord that she might come back and tell me what happened, and I prayed that she might come herself and tell on him."
"Do you think you actually saw your daughter in flesh and blood?"
"Yes, I do, sir. I told them the very dress she was wearing when she was murdered. When she was about to leave the room, she turned her head completely around and looked at me like she wanted me to know all about it. And the next time she returned, she told me all about it. The first time she came, she seemed as if she did not want to tell me as much as afterward. The last night she came, she told me she had done everything she could, and I am satisfied she did all that too.
Now, Mrs. Heaster, don't you know these visions, as you term or describe them, were nothing more or less than 4 dreams founded upon your distress?
No, I don't know that. The Lord sent her to me to tell it. I was the only friend she knew she could tell and put any confidence in. I was the nearest one to her. Shue gave me a ring he pretended she wanted me to have, but I don't know what dead woman he might have taken it off of. I wanted my daughter's own ring, but he would not let me have it.
Oh my God. Ugh. That whole thing made my stomach hurt.
Yes. And I just think it's so weird that remember guys, this is from the trial. So she was getting all this information before she'd ever laid eyes on this house, before she even knew the neighbors, these people, anyone. She was getting direct details.
How Zona died. I mean, they didn't know how she died until after she was exhumed.
And she told me it was this exact part of her neck, and that's exactly how it was. I mean, this is incredible evidence.
Yeah.
How would she have known that? So, Shue then spent nearly an entire day on the witness stand trying to build a defense for himself. And he talked apparently in great length and in very tiny detail about very unimportant things, but then denied practically everything else.
Yeah.
And he declared that he loved his wife dearly and appeared to members of the jury to look in his eyes and then say if he was guilty. They will look you directly in the eye.
It almost never works out for criminals who, like, especially murderers, who think they're smarter than everyone else, who take the stand, because they always implicate themselves. They always
every time
fuck it up.
Every single time. Where he's like, yes, the grass was super green that day. No, I didn't see Zona that morning at all. And then, it was sunny and beautiful. And it's like that, dude.
Yeah.
Dude. So it took the jury a solid hour. That's it. Just an hour to come to the verdict of first-degree murder. And then recommended that he be confined into the state pen for the rest of his life. They gave this man life.
I'm surprised they didn't push for something more extreme.
Well, some people did. We'll see. So, quote, though the evidence was entirely circumstantial, the verdict meets general approval, the newspaper later reported. And the editor of the Greenbrier Independent wrote in his paper, quote, taking the verdict of the jury as ascertaining the truth, we must conclude that Shue deliberately broke his wife's neck, probably with his strong hands, and with no other motive than to be rid of her so that he might get another one more to his liking.
Ugh.
I hate this man. Y'all know I've been so salty this entire episode because I hate this man. So people were obviously pissed because you killed your wife.
Yes.
And the following Sunday after the trial and conviction, a small mob gathered outside of Meadow Bluff campgrounds. They were ready to steal this guy and go hang him.
Wow.
Because they said that his fate should be the same as his wife's, a broken neck.
Wow.
So one guy in town was like, I think we should just maybe let the law do the law things.
Yes.
And went and got Sheriff Nickel, the same guy that had arrested Shue to begin with.
Yeah.
And then they both on horseback went riding. But to get to, because they were going to go protect the prisoner, go protect Trout.
Yes.
But they had to pass like where the mob was, and then someone recognized them, and then there was like a whole chase, and then eventually, like, I think someone might have gotten shot. It wasn't very clear.
Oh, geez.
Anyway, the two men were able to calm the mob down and be like, go home. He was not hanged. And then after 2 days, Trout was taken to Moundsville Pen. He served the remainder of his life, which turned out to only be 3 more years, because then he died in the flu epidemic of 1900.
Oh, shit.
And apparently no one came to claim his body.
Everyone was like, no, thank you.
No, ew. He's a wife killer. So that's why I said his first wife got off lucky by abandonment.
Really.
Because could have been death.
Oh, gosh.
And that's the Greenbrier ghost.
Wow.
She's rested peacefully as far as I know. There's been, some movies and books written about this incident. So,
yeah.
I think this is fascinating. And I don't think anyone else has ever heard a testimony from a ghost before.
At least not one in a court of law that then was taken seriously,
right,
and used to convict.
Yes, at least in the legal point of view.
And, I mean, it is good that they at least had, even though it was circumstantial, they did have other evidence.
Right.
To suggest. Because you can use circumstantial evidence, because that just means that there's not, like, a direct eyewitness to the crime. But I think they had enough.
But there was enough.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think had it been, the ghost showed up and it was like, they killed me or whatever, but then there was no evidence corroborating that.
Yes.
If it was like, if you look at my body, my left pinky finger is broken, and then like on the body it's not broken. If things didn't line up, they lined up so perfectly that it's almost like, oh, we do need to actually kind of take this seriously.
Right. And, I mean, clearly compelling enough for an attorney to take it seriously, and for, people to be convinced to exhume Zona, to examine her.
And also, you've got to think of the people that are around, too. Like, Johnson, he was like, I believe my sister-in-law enough to go ask questions myself to gather some evidence to take, because if Mary had just showed up at Preston's,
right,
he would have been like,
okay,
you're grieving. I think you need to go see a therapist.
Yeah.
But because there was actual evidence where it's like, this is why I think Trout is being really sus right now, it actually went somewhere.
Yeah. I agree with you. I'm very interested what happened with the trail of blood that Anderson saw. I wonder if he was misremembering. Which, I mean,
but
if he was interviewed...
The blood, hold on, Anderson saw...
Well, and Zona said there'd be blood on, Mama, or Auntie Martha's house, but didn't Mary said that she went to the house and couldn't find what Zona had told her?
She did find some blood.
She did, okay.
Okay, let's see. There was blood on a sheet. So...
Which, I mean, if he broke her neck, I do expect there to be blood from, like, her nose and mouth and stuff.
Right.
And
And I don't know maybe if, like, there was a good amount of blood, and then, like, when you say a trail of blood, that doesn't mean it's, like, leaking out everywhere.
No, it could be a couple drops.
Could be drops. Could be, let's just say Trout stepped in some and, like, walked away without noticing. Let's see. And apparently, Zona Heaster's body was discovered. Now, this is AI answers, so just know that. I just did a quick Google search. Apparently, there was like a sheet. Because remember, Zona was on the bed.
Yeah.
That when Mary brought the sheet home to wash it, a large red stain appeared.
Okay.
So I don't know how that's physically possible. But apparently there was a blood stain on the sheet.
Well, and she was, like you said, she was placed on the bed.
Yeah.
And changed. So I wonder if he changed her to, like, get rid of evidence and blood. And
she was found in the kitchen. I wonder if maybe she was in a different room, he broke her neck and then put her in the kitchen. And then she was, leaking.
Yeah.
Sounds awful. While carrying her to another room.
I'd say that's possible.
Obviously, he has no qualms about moving the body.
Right.
So that's kind of maybe.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I was just curious. But thank you for covering this. I think this is a perfect end to spooky season with a very spooky, sad case.
I know. At least there was justice. As much as justice could be served here.
Yes.
And it did come in a very cool, spooky, quirky way, but it's still horrible that Zona was murdered, but she was able to find rest and peace after this horrible incident.
Yeah. Ugh.
I know. Poor Zona.
Poor Zona.
So, guys out there, if you have a son, do not name him Erasmus Stribling Trout.
Shue.
They turn into murderers. Shue.
Erasmus.
Or Edward, apparently. Why Edward? I don't know. It almost seems like the way they said it, he was going by like a weird alias.
That makes sense.
Because he definitely didn't murder his second wife.
I'm sad that she never found justice.
Me too. And I'm wondering if he thought he got away with it the first time.
Yeah.
He could get away with it the second time.
Oh, 100%. Because the first time was a quote-unquote accident. And
how many times can you accidentally kill your wife before it's not an accident anymore?
It happens. Again, I listen to true crime, and there are people who, like the, who was it? The antifreeze killer. She had 2 previous husbands who had died of heart failure before the one that eventually got her convicted, and then she tried to murder her own daughter.
What?
Yeah, shit's wild.
See, this is why I can't listen to this. Is about as true crime as I can get now.
Yeah.
I get so stressy, and then I start having weird dreams, and nobody needs that.
I won't go into more detail.
Oh, you're good. I'm assuming she poisoned them with antifreeze and made it look like heart failure. I do know that you can actually give, like, if people ingest, like, eat tobacco, it could cause them to have heart failure.
Yeah.
And I do know that is like it could give them a heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
And I do know that
you have neuroreceptors on your heart that react to nicotine specifically.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you eat it, I do know someone was murdered that way. That like they ate It was like in their food or something, and they ate it, and it killed them.
Mm-hmm. They like overdosed on it. There's too much went to their heart.
Wild. Moida.
Moida. A murder most foul.
Oh. It was Johnny in the kitchen with the candlestick. Okay, so if you liked this, you can find us on Facebook,
Ill-Equipped History podcast group and page,
Instagram,
at Ill-Equipped History,
Gmail,
illiquippedhistory@gmail.com,
TikTok,
at Ill-Equipped History,
and Patreon.
Patreon.com/Ill-Equipped History. Don't miss the stickers. Tomorrow's the last day.
Yeah. So, yeah. Don't kill your wife or your husband. And don't try to cover up murder.
Don't do that.
And if a ghost comes to you, listen.
Listen to what I might tell you.
If it's someone you don't know, be more cautious.
Yeah.
But that's better advice. Don't listen to all ghosts. Listen to ghosts you know.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.